minutes from the April 2025 Downtown Development Board meeting.
A motion to approve the minutes?
All right, we have a
Second.
motion. We got a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. All right, we'll move on to new business.
Can we switch up a little bit?
We sure
Clarice
can.
came to talk about business after hours.
Oh, okay. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to move on to item 6A, business after hours update. And we've got Miss Clarice Bissett from the Spring Hope Chamber of Commerce. So if you want to come up and speak into the microphone,
Does it work?
since we're live streaming,
It's mine.
all right, Miss Clarice, you got it.
Well, I came because I think y'all wanted to visit the chamber meeting last week, and we already had some people coming to talk to us, and we knew it would be a long evening, and so I just suggested that we come to y'all. I did send out a reminder, and when board members in Raleigh, one's delivering puppies, and I did not hear from the other two. So here I am. But I thought our business after hours was good. Just to update y'all just a little bit, the young lady that was there from the Spring Hope Enterprise, I reached out to her the very next day, and I didn't get a response, but I heard from her today. She's been on vacation. She's coming tomorrow afternoon to meet with Bev and I to see what she's come up with. You know, she mentioned the page. I'm looking at those two because they were there. But she's coming tomorrow to talk to us about the page. And ladies, I don't remember what she called it when they were in Bailey.
Or a walk through Bailey?
Uh-huh. So she's, after she meets with us, I think she intends on visiting some of the businesses. I'm not real sure how I feel about it yet until I see a price. You know, that price is gonna make a big difference whether we can, you know, foot that bill or not. But anyway, I thought it was a wonderful idea.
Well,
So,
keep in mind, Clarice, that even if the chamber can't foot the bill, the businesses might be willing, so
right.
keep us in
So,
mind.
I mean, if she can keep it to where I think it's reasonable for everybody.
Absolutely.
Well, didn't
But-
she say the smallest ad was like $59 or 50
It's a
something?
business card size, and it was $55.
Okay.
So we'll see. So after tomorrow, we'll have something for that. But I love that business after hours. For the small crowd, what did you say we had, Pam?
13 signed in.
13? I don't think I
seemed like
signed
more.
in. Seemed like more. But anyway, I thought it was wonderful. People talked. They did throw out ideas, and I thought some of the ideas was great. We just need to pull together and act on them. So I'm here representing the chamber, but whatever y'all discuss and want to do about business after hours, we're perfectly willing to partner with you. So y'all decide, and I'm gonna sit and listen, and I'll comment if you need for me to comment.
At the business after hours, one of the people in attendance said he thought we ought to do that meeting every quarter. And when we had our work session, we said no, somebody said no, once a month. And we already have a volunteer for, that wants to do it for June.
Okay.
And, but is that something the chamber's willing to put some more money into, or?
Well, I think right at the very beginning, when we talked about it, I think we came up with $100 to give to the business that was willing to host it, to help with the refreshments, maybe I'll say, because you can't feed everybody a meal.
Right.
But at least $100 will help you get, you know, some snacks of some kind. So I think the chamber is perfectly willing to stick to that. That's what they've already said for business after hours. I don't think they knew it was gonna be every month, but I don't think they will frown on that. I think it's a wonderful idea.
Okay.
I mean, the first one I thought was successful, even if we didn't have but 13 people. But there was conversation, and I just thought it was great.
I agree. And the more that we do things like this, the more attendance you'll get. People will be like, oh, they're serious, and they'll start coming.
Okay. So
Thank you.
I think we're good. I think we're good.
So is the decision to go quarterly,
No, monthly.
monthly?
Do you think that's too much?
I don't know. I know that when I used to be involved with a similar organization in Bridgewater in Massachusetts, we did it quarterly, and those were very well attended. We used to have, I'd say, between 50 and 100 people.
Were you in comparison with Spring Hope though?
The population there was about 25,000, so a lot bigger. But what I'm saying is, we always had regular attendance. It was well attended. I don't know about monthly. You may want to try quarterly first and see. I don't know.
Well, if we do one in June, I'll leave that up to you ladies. We're just count the chamber in.
Perfect. Well, and if we do a comparison of what we did last year, I would say we hit the mark of doing some kind of event quarterly last year with the business after hours or the social media meetings. And I think that the attendance, given the ratio of the number of people and businesses, I think we're right in line to have a good group. So if you wanted to do monthly, I think you could pull that off. But definitely quarterly, because we know we can do it quarterly, and you'll have good attendance.
So go monthly, and the fallback would be quarterly.
Don't you all think? I
That's a
think-
good idea.
I agree, especially this time of year. I think monthly will be good. Once we get closer to the holidays, maybe we'll have one in November and then skip and do 3 months until the next one.
I
Absolutely.
do not know the gentleman's name that's over at the Art Center.
Oh.
George Barner.
I just really like that he was willing to open up the back of his building, it's a shelter. And, I just really thought that was great to have a business after hours back there. That's in the downtown area.
Well, I'll tell you that Lori Harris offered to have it next.
Great,
Yeah.
great. But then can we just go ahead and speak with them and get on the next month, the July?
I think that's a great
Sure.
idea.
Great idea.
Now, that would be outdoors, and I said, see, here again, I don't know if July's too hot to be outdoors, but, I thought it was wonderful that he wanted to do that in the back of his business.
Okay.
It's got a good space for it.
Yes, he mentioned working with Michael.
Okay.
So
So,
is that, I'm so sorry.
yes, ma'am.
Is there a date that we will go down to Martello?
Do we have a June date set for that? I guess we can set that right now if that works for you, Lori. You got a date in mind?
Whatever that's good for me. I'm open every day.
So that was a Wednesday. Was that a Wednesday?
Oh, it was
Thursday.
on May 1st. And that was on a Thursday.
So do you want to look at, it's June 3rd? Kind of keep that same cadence
June
of the first
5th.
Thursday?
I think that'd be the 5th.
Yeah, the 5th.
It's the 5th.
I think you're looking at July.
You know, I might be looking at last year. That's completely possible.
So we're talking about June 5th then?
That's only
On Thursday?
2 weeks away.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I have a graduation. We got to keep that in mind. In June, we got graduation, so I won't be able to make that.
So should we push it further, because you're not going to be the only one that
Has
that's going to be
graduation.
conflicting. Even if it's not graduation, there's all kinds of awards and senior nights and
Yeah.
different stuff going on still.
Maybe the 12th.
The 12th, I think we're out of graduation, David. Is 12th good for you, Lori? Okay. Is that
At
good
what
with you, Ms.
time?
Claire's?
6 is fine.
What time?
Wasn't, it was 6 at?
6?
Yeah,
Is
6
that
is fine.
good? Okay. I've got to put it in my phone. Excuse me,
too.
y'all.
Yeah, we all do.
If we don't do it, we won't do it.
Yeah, if I don't put it on my calendar, you can forget about me being there.
Me too. What?
Okay. So Steve messaged and said he will email over the logos, but he is stuck at a satellite office and it's not going to make it to the meeting.
Okay.
All right, so do we want to move back up to our new business or do we want to keep pushing through? Here, you tell me what you want to do, Pam.
Oh, I think we just ought to back up to the new business.
Okay, so we're going back up to the new business.
But can I ask Clarence one
You
more
sure
thing?
can.
Did y'all talk about sip and stroll?
No, we did not.
Okay.
Do
That's
we
all I
need
wanted to
sit
know.
for that? Is that on your agenda? No, okay.
All right, so are we really ready to go back to the new business?
Leave so y'all can meet.
No, you can do what you want.
Do we need to do that sip and, stroll with the, art center?
Don't
Can
we?
we incorporate that with that?
I was thinking that might be possible to do both, to have it be like a combined thing. Because it's like a networking event, but we could also make it a little more enticing with the sip and stroll. And then,
If you're gonna have a social district, it has to be approved by the board.
of course, so it might not work out for these next few, but we can, as soon as it is, we can.
She has June and then we go for July.
Now, that's business after hours, but
There it
we're talking
is.
about sip and
Looks like
stroll.
I know, but I'm saying, can we make it,
She
with
wants to
them.
combine the two, to have the business after hours turn into the sip and stroll.
Like a conjunctive event,
Oh,
having
Yeah.
both happening at the same time.
how does that work?
So, in my mind, the business after hours is very much a networking event. We're not necessarily gonna get a ton of specific things done at these business after hours events. We're just meeting up with everybody, keeping up with what's new. Is everybody on the same page with that? Is that where we're at?
Well, can we take a step back for a second? Social district is a lot more work. My understanding of how social districts work is you have glasses or stickers. They have to be designated. Only certain venues are actually permitted to participate. You can't just have, random people serving liquor, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's something that's gotta be a lot more deliberative. We'd have to run everything past the town attorney. So it's gonna take more time.
Right, and we don't have to hold off on the business after hours until we get the sip and stroll going.
I guess that's my point. Maybe hold off on a date certain for the sip and stroll until we get some of the background research.
Absolutely, I agree with that, because you're right, it is gonna take some organization to get it going. But I do think once we get it going, I don't see why it wouldn't go very well together. We could definitely combine the two events. But Andrew's right, that's gonna take some time to get that going, up and running.
Do we need to plan that together? Do we want to be part of that? I'm talking about the DDB and the chamber together.
I think that that is probably one of those work session
Yeah.
discussions that we need to have and maybe pull the chamber into that work session. And Andrew to,
I can do some more research and, the latest is on creating a social district.
The one I've heard about is a ticket, punching tickets. And you pay for the, you prepay for the tickets.
There are all kinds of different iterations. Some places have wristbands, tickets, there's all kinds of different ways to do it, stickers, cups.
We'll discuss that.
so we need to do
Later.
a little research on that. This sip and stroll though, that's something that the chamber was coordinating, right? So I guess we'll let them take the lead and tell us what you need us to do or how you need us to be a part of it, if you want us to be a part of it.
I'll get some of the background research rolling, and of course, the board of commissioners has to be integral in all that. So getting them up to speed and okay with everything
Yes.
So June is covered and we need to find someone for July.
And I'll check with the Burners.
About the Artist Art Center being the July host. Okay. All right, sounds good.
Am I good to go?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Claris. All right, so we're going to move back up in our agenda to new business. And the first item there is public Facebook page.
You want to talk about that?
Okay, so we have that group for the businesses, but so far, we've not done anything with it. We've also discussed having a specific place to be able to post things about the events and the different things that we're doing. We've talked about creating a Facebook page, like an actual page, not a group, so it would be public. And I know that there have been problems with that in the past.
Well, there's two things, if I could, if I may. We have, as a staff, I've been talking to my staff, our staff, about starting up a new Facebook page, fresh out of the gate. So that's been part of our conversation. So I think what would make a lot of sense is for DDB to have kind of a sister page to that. So maybe if I can get rolling with the town's official Facebook page, then we can kind of add DDB under that rubric. And then, kind of have some administrators here and maybe run it through staff. I think it'll probably be Linda Pena operating that Facebook page for us. So let me get her underway and then we can kind of coordinate with this effort and roll out at the same time maybe. Because this is gonna be a short-term thing, want to talk to the board about it and then roll it out this summer and have it go, kind of take off this summer.
That was my concern, was like having to tie it to somebody's personal Facebook that would be on the board. And then whenever your term was up, how do you transfer?
Yeah, and for the town, it's liability for, your town officials, so obviously can be held accountable for the things you say and do. But, if somebody decided to go rogue crazy with something, the implications for the town, so I think the administration kind of has to be, the overall administration kind of has to reside with the town. But I think that, y'all, having a less independent, a semi-autonomous page makes sense, so I think this would be a good way to go. Kind of covers us every which way.
I like that. I like that
I
approach.
do too, and I like that you guys are working on a town page, because if there's a singular town page, then the town can share all the DDB posts, you can share the chambers posts, all the different stuff going on, so that can be that one place that everybody goes.
Everyone has told me it has been a glaring absence for the town not to have an official page.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's the objective?
For the town's Facebook, just push out information. It's not going to be.
But pushing out information is one thing, but what's the objective? What are we trying to accomplish by pushing out? Is it
Hey, Devin.
awareness?
Pull your-
Is it bringing awareness, or is it, are we trying to advertise a certain, thing like a pumpkin festival or something like that? Like,
I think it's awareness, it's not going to be posting all the time, every day, multiple times a day kind of thing.
so the reason I bring that up.
What's happening in Spring Hope kind of page.
Yeah, so the reason I ask these questions is, there are people that specialize in, this kind of market media, but we want to keep it contained, obviously. I think there's a way to do a hybrid where they can get that, as long as we know the objective, which is if it's just outreach, sending awareness, like that, they can do that, and it does require multiple posts, often, but they have algorithms. AI is really kind of sped things up to make it to where it's not expensive at all. And I know people that can do that. but I know we want to keep it in-house. So that's why I was just wondering what the objective was on that.
Yeah, I mean, these are all things we can talk about, Vivian. Certainly, there's a cost component to the town's effort, maintaining the control within, within the town and its officials, and that kind of thing. So, yeah, I mean, we can kind of hash that out along the way.
Yeah. Because in my opinion, if you have a certain thing that you're trying to advocate, then yeah, let's push it. But if it's just awareness, it's very vague, it's very broad. It's hard to shoot that out and expect results. But if you have something to go off of, like the Pumpkin Festival or like something happening, then I said we just harness on that and just full shoot it. And then you can get some results.
This is just purely
But-
information.
All right, that's just
Okay, so do we want to roll this agenda item to next month and see what an update for the town would be? Okay. All right, anything else?
On that note, so my brother Dallas just moved to Gardner this week, and he's a software developer, and he also specializes in like social media boosting and whatnot. Like, so that's why I was like, I could easily gear him up with someone from this chamber to, work with him, and he knows how to get it done. He's designed certain AI tools that people use around the world, and I mean, he can definitely get the outreach out. But that's why I was asking if there's a
You're
certain message.
volunteering services.
Yes, I'm volunteering. Yes, I am. I've helped him enough. He can help me.
He's a nice guy, though. He'd probably be willing to do it.
Oh, he's a nerd. He would love to.
Okay.
It would be his privilege.
Do we have any more discussion on the public Facebook page?
I don't think so.
No.
Okay, so let's move on to B, Downtown Development Board attendance.
We talked about, I'm gonna pass out the bylaws for the Downtown Development Board, made everybody a copy. And, so that we'll all be aware of what it is.
Pam, do we need to have any discussion on that, or is this just more of an awareness?
I think right now, just awareness.
Okay. I keep deferring to Pam because she's the right arm of all of this. Okay. Any more new business that we need to discuss? We don't have any public participation, so we don't have any public comment. If not, we'll move to old business. Any old business we need to discuss? Andrew?
Actually, yeah, thank you. So at the last meeting, and then actually Deanne was at the last Board of Commissioners meeting, y'all discussed the marketing tools that you developed, the branding and so on, which is great. Michelle Collins, our finance officer and clerk, pointed out that it utilized some of the stock images and stuff, and her recommendation, which I think is salient and valid, is that maybe we hire somebody, maybe out of the Artisans Art Center, to kind of develop, a custom image that we can utilize.
So I'm going to turn this over to these two because they've got some information on that.
I talked to Michelle today. She handed me this old paper, and
Old from 1989.
and let me. No. Look, that is old.
It is old.
Yeah. Here's one of the first trains in Spring, well, I shouldn't say one of the first, but one of the old trains in Spring Hope. If you wanted to consider that, or hiring someone, here, I'm gonna let you pass it down. Us four kind of looked at it a while ago, and,
I don't know, can you put that on the screen? Does it? Tap?
yeah,
I can't, because the doc cam is
Anyway, seeing this paper was really kind of interesting. It has lots and lots of businesses, actually, that were vibrant and utilizing Spring Hope. So the train image in this is something that we would really like to have, which we had already kind of chosen a train image, but the train on this looks really what we were envisioning.
Yeah, and Steve was going to
Send us some
bring
logos.
it. Did he send anything?
Let me see if he emailed anything.
But we can table this till next time if you want to.
Another aspect of the logo thing is when we do choose something, we've got to choose something that's going to transfer well. If it's got too much detail or too many little pieces, it won't scale, or you'll have trouble like embroidering it on hats and stuff like that. So while I understand where you guys are coming from, it can only be so detailed to be able to use it for a logo.
Understood. I think it's just more of a stylized version of something that is unique to the town as opposed to a stock image.
For sure.
That would be,
And I think when we had our work session, we talked about it and we all agreed that that would be a good way to go about it. I think we also talked about trying to find a local artist who might want to work on it if we can, but if not, there are websites where you can hire people for very cheap to draw stuff.
suggestion was going right to the artisans art center to see
So
an in-house artist.
Yeah.
there's a couple AI generating softwares out there that are pretty incredible. Like you can type in exactly this kind of stuff, and they can pump out something that is like, whew, you know, and for a fraction of the cost and
So-
time, like it just instant.
That is awesome, and I would like to keep that in mind if we don't find a local artist to use. I think if we can find a local artist, that'll just give it some
Add a
even
little-
more
yeah,
character.
absolutely.
you know?
Adds a little more
Gives it
flavor to
another
it.
layer.
Yep, I agree.
Okay, so we want to roll that
Till next month.
to next month as well.
I think maybe when you discuss the meeting with George, or the business after hours with George, if you want to
Be a good
mention it.
time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Question real quick. If I have a couple local artists in mind, do you
Mention
want
it
me
to them as
email
well.
to you or into the group? Just contact wise?
Well, it depends. How well do you know them? Like, can you just text them and say, hey, are you interested in this? Or like, you don't know them that well and we need to be more official about it?
I can text them.
Yeah, just hit them up and see if they
Yeah,
are
yeah.
interested in it.
Yeah.
Vet them out first, and then we'll go from there.
Oh, they're vetted.
I mean, like
Yeah.
for
Their
their
interest.
scheduling, if they're willing to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, who would I put in contact with? That is what I'm saying. What I'm asking. Like, do I just
fair question.
reach like? Because I don't want to be the middleman. I would like them to
Let's
just.
go with Steve because he's
Steve?
got the most experience working with the different. What am I trying to say?
Like vectorized kind of things.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
different like Adobe and all that stuff. He's-
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Sorry, we're trying to get some answers on the next agenda item. Okay, so we've covered old business. The next item is election of officers.
According to this bylaws, we'll be changing seats in July.
Why don't we just let it ride till then?
At its July meeting, the board shall elect a chair and a vice chair.
Okay, so let's move that to the July agenda.
Okay.
All right, well, moving right along. The next item was business after hours update. We covered that. And I was trying to see if we had any awards for the Rock Your Block.
We do have have the awards.
You
Oh,
have it?
yay.
Okay,
They're at my office.
okay.
But
But
do we
do
have
we
any
have-
entries?
Entries?
No.
Okay.
Kyle has been blowing me up about it.
Okay,
He wants us to go around and take pictures. And also he recommended extending the time frame because of, he said to blame it on the rain. We've had rain and people haven't been. But that people haven't had as much of a chance to get out and work in the yard because the weather hasn't been great.
Supposed to
That's
rain again
true.
tomorrow. Oh, yeah.
yep,
It is.
Exactly.
okay.
Word.
So when do we want to extend that to? And let's keep in mind that we have a holiday weekend coming up, so
Also,
Yes.
it's yesterday.
Thursday.
Yesterday, the
So-
18th.
also at the meeting when it was all discussed, I think everybody took away the impression that it was only for people in the town limits. I think when we share something about extending the time, then we should also make sure that people are aware that we're accepting entries from,
Zip code.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if your
Spring
address
Hope.
says Spring
Says-
Hope.
right.
yeah.
Okay. So do you want to extend it into June the what?
First.
First.
Oh, sorry. 6th, the 8th is on Sunday.
Yeah, I would go Sunday night.
Let's go.
June the 8th.
Okay.
Corliss Newkirk will enter.
Say it again.
Corliss Newkirk will enter. She kept bringing it up at one of the meetings.
Well, I'm glad she brought it up because it was a good question, and I'm happy to have whoever wants to participate. We said, what
Yeah, I like
was
that
that
Who's
date?
going
The
to be
8th?
responsible for this?
It's on Kyle's page, so,
Kyle. Mr. Mayor. He's not here to say no.
right.
That's right. And I
And-
texted him, he didn't reply, so.
Do you want to contact him and let him know?
Yeah, I'll let him know. And what are we gonna do about taking photos? He said that he doesn't have the time to put in to go around and take photos of all the nice yards. But I don't either.
Maybe we can ask the garden club to. Peggy,
Great idea.
Peggy is out of country right now, but there's other members that are active that would be willing to.
Okay,
I can let Roe know.
would you do that?
Pictures of
Yeah.
yards?
Yeah, just
Nice
ones that
yards.
look really nice because we're not getting any entries from
Rock your block.
residents. Kyle wants us to take it into our own hands.
What is Rock Your Block?
It is the competition where we were having people send before and after pictures of their yard transformations. Because it's that time of year, people are getting out, they're making things look nice, and we wanted something to get the townspeople involved right after we did the Spring Hope Sweep. We didn't want to make everything
You
look
need
nice
someone to
here, and
Go out
everybody's
and
yards
take
look like
pictures
trash.
Of these?
Say it again.
You need someone to go out there and take some professional looking pictures.
They don't have to be professional, we're
Or
just
like
looking
good
for
pictures.
Good
entries.
cell phone entry picture.
Yeah. Kyle evidently does that for the Christmas lights competition. He just goes around and takes pictures of the pretty ones and enters them himself. At least that's the impression that I got. I mean, it was working, so I ain't mad at him.
Be careful to get proper
permission.
or just stay out.
You just can't, you can't go onto the property.
What about like maybe talking to, I don't know, like the owners of the Bojangles or owners of, number one Chinese restaurant and just restaurants around here, Showside Grill, and see if they would be willing to offer like a,
We've already got
coupon or
prizes.
$5
We've already got
coupon.
prizes.
You already got prizes?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have prizes.
Okay, well, I was talking about like hey, if you enter in your photos, you get like a $5 coupon.
Oh, an incentive to
Yeah,
enter.
an incentive.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you.
Incentivize them, so that way they can take their pictures.
That's not a bad idea.
I didn't think so, yeah.
It's kind of short. being-
It is, and how would we,
Time frame is
What time
And
were you
how-
trying to make it done?
well, it's
Today.
already started officially. and we extended the deadline until June 8th. But also,
Yeah, it's already over,
It's
actually.
already
Because, I
over.
mean, dude, I can go to Staples and get like 800 vouchers for like, printed out vouchers
I think
for like
that's-
$100. And we can just have people pass them out and, on every lawn that's a candidate or just, every property. And I'm sure being in Spring Hill, $10 would mean a lot to them. And they'd be like, I get $10 off. Shit, yeah, I'll take a picture.
right.
And then we don't have to worry about the barrier of someone coming into their yard, and legalities of that. They
Right.
can just submit, we make it easy, we can have a QR code on it, where they can just take their pictures, hit the QR code, upload them, if we have that set up. We have a couple different opportunities here.
Well, that is great, but it's 2 weeks away. And,
Staples can print that stuff out in 2 hours.
I think we need to keep it in a scale that we can work with. So since we've
Yeah,
already got a
that-
project that's already started, I don't think we need to add an incentive midstream. It almost feels desperate.
I think that would have been a
We-
great idea in the
But I
beginning.
do like the idea. I
I do
mean,
really
I
like
think,
that idea, and I
yeah.
would like to use that for
Sure.
other things that.
Well, we can use that in the
we're
future.
planning. Yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
that's a
You
great
guys already
way,
have something in motion.
and it's a great way to just spread awareness about it.
Absolutely.
I
And
like
plus
it.
the restaurants would love it because
It
now
gets
you
them
get
some-
more business. If they come in for a $10 coupon, they're probably gonna at least spend something.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
So I'm going to kind of recap, just so I'm on the right page. Rock Your Block, we're going to extend that to June 8th. And what did we decide about photographing people's yards? Or did we have somebody that's going to do that?
Well, that was the point of the incentive.
Okay.
I was going to ask the Garden Club ladies.
The Garden Club ladies, okay, so,
Make
And
sure
you're
they
gonna ask
know
them?
to either get permission
gonna
or
ask
not
them?
go on to
I'll
other people's
I'll ask
property.
Ro.
Okay.
Peggy's out of country.
okay, so you're going to take care of that?
Yeah.
So do we think we're solid on that item? Okay. So let's move on to presentation from May 7th, work session.
Have we covered it all?
I don't think we have.
Covered what?
Did we talk about anything else at the work session?
Mostly the logo and how we would go about getting a non-stock,
We talked about that.
yeah.
So I've got the town logo, the Facebook page, business after hours, attendance, and election of officers from the work session.
Okay. So I think that we've pretty much covered that.
Okay.
So we'll check that item off. At that work session, did we create a date for the next work session, or do we need to do that now?
We need to do that.
Remember.
Okay. So we are rolling into June pretty hard.
All right, so. Next week is clear, but the week after that, we've got the town meeting on Monday, and then the week after that is business after hours, followed directly after by our next meeting. How are we gonna play this?
Wednesday or next week.
Two things in
Wednesday of next week? I can
Is
make
that
it
the
work.
28th?
Yes.
Okay. I can make that
6:30?
work.
6:30's fine.
It works well for me too.
I'm good till September. All my kids, they had their birthdays,
Did you
we're
say
good.
6:30?
Next week is
Yes, ma'am.
Where are we gonna do that?
But the 28th
Wednesday.
is following,
Memorial Day.
Oh, Memorial Day.
yeah, that's
but-
following.
Work session.
But it's Wednesday. We're all gonna
It's
be back at
Wednesday.
work by then.
Yeah, we'll be back at work.
Okay.
Where are we gonna do it?
You wanna do it at
Marzalo's?
your
Do it at
place again?
Marzalos again? Okay, perfect.
And I'll, make sure when I walk in, I'll sit at the back table.
That's right.
Okay, beautiful. So that's set. The next item is Town of Spring Hope logo. Do we need to, we just covered that.
Yeah, we've covered it.
So that one's good. Any public comment? Here we go. Yeah, so not even a public comment tonight. All right, so we'll move into informal discussion and any public comment. Do we have a garden club update? I know they're, Deanne, I didn't know if you had.
I
anything.
haven't spoken with them
Okay.
since the town hall meeting, so
Okay,
I don't have an update.
all right. Any other informal discussion that we need to have?
Well, I have something.
Yes.
Tomorrow, the second round of bids are due for the depot restoration. So the bid opening is tomorrow, should be tomorrow. First time around, we did not have, you're supposed to have 3 bids for a project of this size. And we only had 2. So tomorrow, as long as we have 1 bid, we can open it.
Perfect. That is traction either way.
What does that mean going forward?
So going forward, that would mean probably, whether we got it on the June agenda, which is what I'm striving for, the June agenda for the Board of Commissioners to accept that bid, then we would sign a contract with the contractor, general contractor, and then schedule the work to actually start at Depot.
Okay. Do we know what kind of time frame that normally is, like a ballpark?
It really depends on how much work the contractor has, the time of the year. I'd say usually within 30 days.
Okay,
Schedule the work.
well, that's great news.
So what's actually being done to the depot?
So the renovations called for now, I don't know whether, what the bids are gonna come back, but what the bid package looks like is renovation of the depot itself that would basically rehab the interior and parts of the exterior, including the windows and so on. Creating a catering kitchen in the back portion, which is on the Ash Street side. And then the rest of the space would be an event space. The caboose, that's another thing, the caboose was actually scheduled to be in town last week, but because of the weather, got postponed. So there'll be a caboose on the northern part of the depot that'll be installed for storage. And then a platform will be constructed on the eastern side, which is where the grassy part is.
Like a train car? And it's gonna be here permanently?
The caboose.
Yeah. Can we get a picture of that?
Can you get a picture of the
Oh, we
caboose?
could ask the artist.
The
Yeah.
caboose in its current state is kind of rough. But I can get you a picture, yeah.
Okay, because
we
that
have the
would, that
train
would
and
be,
the caboose.
that would be
Perfect.
perfect to work with for the logo. If it's gonna be here in town for everybody to see all the time. like-
It will match up.
Be here,
Yeah.
It's gonna be located on this side of the building. When you look out in front of the town hall steps, it'll be directly in front of you.
Like,
Isn't that cool?
light bulb.
Light bulb.
And we didn't even know it.
Yeah.
Do
Just
we know
worked out
what day it's
perfect.
been rescheduled for? Do we know what delivery date it's been rescheduled for?
Sometime at the end of May.
Okay.
Also, if it's looking kind of rough right now, is that gonna be done with the rest of the work to the depot?
It's a separate part of the project, but yes, it'll be done simultaneously.
Okay.
It's going to, we have to, hopefully, it'll be likely Edwards, crane folks will fab in a door for a bridge to come out from the depot to that caboose, so that tables and chairs can be moved back and forth.
Wonderful. Okay, so that's part of the bid, correct? No. That's a
Separate-
okay, okay.
Separate
So
bid package.
do you know who's gonna be working on that, or will you have to have the same process again?
We kind of have to have a process for it. We got the quote to move it from Edwards, which we accepted, so we gotta get it here, and then we're gonna have to get a price from them to.
Okay. Well, when that happens, is it possible to get the concept photos or the graphics or whatever they do?
When we get to that point.
Yeah,
it's okay.
yeah. I'm just thinking that that will come before we actually get the finished product. And the sooner that we have something to work with, the faster we can get moving on it.
Who you been working with over at Everett's?
Ethan Vester is our point of contact.
That makes sense.
You don't want to talk to Nathan about it?
I talk to Nathan all the time about it.
He-
So, it's been, we have been subject to the hauler. It's not been Edwards, it's been the hauler.
Yeah, it
Which
sounds like it's more of a
specializes in
transport.
rail cars, which is a niche. service.
Absolutely.
And this is the, I guess, the person that they like to use. It's really, we
They didn't want to get stuck.
Well, you know, with that kind of rain and we had, you know, lightning and so on, which we can't direct.
Hail.
You know.
It'd be electrifying.
It could have been, yeah. All right, well, that's good news. That's exciting stuff. Anything else we need to discuss? All right.
Well, speaking of renovations, I shipped more, pretty much the entire inventory over at Auto Barn over to my Georgia dealership and to prep it for the renovations to make. So Auto Barn will now be Spring Hope Studios, and construction with Edwards starts in a week and a half. So
Nice.
that'll
Should
be.
get a zoning certificate.
So
I missed it. I'm not sure what you said.
No More Dealership Studio,
What kind of studio? The
film studio.
film. Okay, that's what I
Spring
thought.
Hope
But
Studio.
you got your hands in everything, so I just wanted to make sure.
So that's happening in preparation for the launch of the finance group that's happening, which you guys are gonna probably be pretty blown away with in a little bit. But yeah, so it's just in preparation for that, which that's gonna be launched in August. So yeah, a lot of big things happening on that standpoint.
All right. All right.
Just keeping
Good
you
stuff.
informed.
Good stuff.
Keep it low key.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No opposed? We are adjourned. Next meeting will be Monday, June 16th. Same place, same bat channel, 6 o'clock. Same bat time, yeah. Speaking of movies, yeah. No pun
Speaking of these
intended.
rules, I will get a lot better at the
I'm
punctuality,
there.
I promise.
You do?
Diligence in keeping all this. All right.